Hello everyone and welcome to a Eurogamer Expo 2015 roundup video. I am joined by the fantastic Sherlock Shuffle. Say hi, bud.
Hi, bud.
I walked into that one.
Yes,
I was getting this all the time, you know. Yes, Fraz here as always, and we're not there today. If you're seeing this video on Sunday, it might be Monday, not sure. Depends how editing goes and how tired I am. We are both knackered. It was so tiring, but so much fun.
Clarify, we didn't go for one day. We were there at just after 10 AM on Thursday, and we were there till what, like 6, and then again the same on Friday, and then Thursday I got there at 9:45, and then you arrived about 15:15, and we were there until like gone 5 o'clock. Long day.
Yeah. We were there a long time. There were some people we met who pretty much were there only one day, a couple of days and whatnot. It's very, very tiring because anyone who's not been to Eurogamer Expo has seen pictures. The place is huge. Also,
it's massive.
Something just beeped.
I don't know what it was that beeped, but I have no
Windows
beeps.
10, probably. Beeps at awkward moments. But basically, everything was going well. Did go well. You can tell we're still tired.
Yes.
I think it was after the Friday, like, I went back to the hotel and completely just passed out pretty much. I was just like, yeah. So if you've not been to Eurogamer Expo, we'll give you an idea of what it is, right? There's 3 zones that we actually got lost in. We thought it was in like different halls, but it's actually all of them connect to the back. And you had like an 18+ area that had like Just Cause and Assassin's Creed, Rainbow Six,
and
The Division. That was kind of, and Homefront was in that area.
And most importantly, the press area.
Yeah, the press area,
which we could go to because we were press.
And there was like big areas like PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo had their own big areas. I found Nintendo was almost like boxed off. The way
it was kind of like, we have the middle, no touchy.
Yeah.
No one come here.
PlayStation had apart from the PlayStation VR bit, they had a very sort of casual like you know, had beanbags sitting down playing games and everything, whereas Microsoft I felt was just like it was all queues and queues, but it didn't seem very well organized because it's like, right, Halo, your biggest game, comes out in a month and you have 24 stations.
Yeah, it was the Halo demo, which we'll get to a bit later on, was basically just a 12v12. I thought it was originally like capture and hold, but it was kind of capture this and then attack these guys, and we kind of we in our session walked all over the enemy, which was quite good fun. But yeah, but no, they also had Tomb Raider, which was kind of all sheltered away and stuff like that. So, but yeah, Sony's and PlayStation was very much sort of, it was nowhere near as intense. Microsoft was like, we have games and marketing stuff, come and see us, and it's just
yeah, PlayStation just felt a bit more. It just seemed a bit more fun, like, you know, come and play games.
Although, the counter to that is that they were also right next to the EA booth, which had an enormous amount of Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah, EA was... I completely... I mind you saying when we were sitting down having some lunch at one point, it's like, wait, Need for Speed's here?
Yeah. I thought that
like,
EA were just showing off Star Wars, and then we saw a guy with a Need for Speed t-shirt. I was like, oh, they're here too.
Yeah, they had a big flashy car. Because it seems to be a thing with racing games these days.
I have no idea.
There will be probably a video going up some point after this, before this, depends. It's basically just going to be a walkthrough, and you'll be able to see that. I also took it's not a TIE Fighter. Is it a TIE Fighter?
Yes.
I don't miss Star Wars. So there is stuff like that. And Need for Speed just seemed very small. I mean, there was kind of big queues. We'll let you know, guys, that we didn't really, apart from Homefront, Halo, and you got The Division, we didn't really play any of the bigger games because the queues were just insane. And it just felt like, I get some people who literally buy a Eurogamer ticket to go in a day to sit in a queue to play a game because people will dedicate themselves to that game. We spent a lot of time in the Res area though. Loads
of time. Res area being like all indie games.
And there were some really, really unique titles there, and the developers were so friendly.
They're really nice guys.
But yeah, you had that area, you had like PlayStation, Microsoft, and Nintendo all in a kind of like hall, you would say, even though it was all kind of one part. And then you had the Res area was all in itself, and it had like a Minecraft tournament. I still don't get how you can have a Minecraft tournament. And then there was loads of stalls of merch stuff and everything. We all bought some random stuff. Fiance got a sword from Asuna. You got a really fantastic Iron Man picture that I really want.
Yep, well, you could have got one, but you didn't.
But yes, obviously you're here to know what games we played, what we thought of them, and what we thought of Eurogamer in itself. But first we'll start off with what we kind of thought of Eurogamer. I loved my first experience. I really wish I was there right now again, because we technically could be. But had to come home, you know, hotels and everything pricey, but it was fantastic. I mean, everyone was really friendly. There was lots. The vibe of this place was just very sort of gamer orientated. You see people using Vitas and 3DSs, and it just everybody's buzzing to play games and unreleased stuff, and it was our new stuff that's coming. Really cool.
It was a massive hall of nerds.
Yes. What did you think then?
I really enjoyed it. The only bugbears I have are pretty much with anything in general is that I don't like loud noises in general. I don't like them. I like quiet and peace and tranquility and decency and all that stuff. And Eurogamer is none of those things. It's very loud. There's lots going on, which is very, very cool, but it's also very chaotic. And the only thing is, my poor feet. I had to walk to and from the train station every day to get there. And that's like a mile or something from my house. And then walking on Eurogamer, it's just, my legs. But apart from that, it was absolutely fantastic fun. And okay, there was the Nerd, i.e. BO was available, but it's a convention. It was going to happen, and it was generally really good fun. And people were really nice in general. If they knocked into you for whatever reason, they said sorry. We also got a bunch of free energy drink for a company that I can't remember the name of. Yeah, there you go. Which was kind of nice. And like, hey, I had drinks. Oh, okay. But overall, I think it was really, really good fun, and I will definitely be doing it again next year. Yeah,
if we're wondering what we're doing next year, we're going there.
Yes.
So hopefully our channels get really big and you can all come say hi.
Yes.
Speaking of YouTubers, there was a very sort of big YouTube presence going on.
Or rather, YouTube gaming presence
was going on at the same time. So Twitch was kind of like huddled into like a small stall. It was just like, right, I get TwitchCon's going on, but I'm sure they want a big presence like Eurogamer because it technically is like the big thing of the UK. And it was just like, okay, you're just kind of leaving it to YouTube, which was nice. YouTube, the YouTube thing, because there's probably some stuff all over YouTube about YouTube gaming being there, and they had hosts and they had YouTubers like Syndicate was there. They had other YouTube. They should just have us, but the Yogscast was there.
There was loads there.
There was developer sessions, there was res sessions and everything. Talking about random stuff. One res session we went to is like how to get big on. Or was it how to get big on YouTube?
So it was how to get the billion, how to be successful on YouTube or something like that.
Which Terps was there from the Yogscast. It actually went up.
I made some very good notes for anyone also wanting to get big on YouTube and basically ignore everything I would normally say. The notes I made were this: how to be good on YouTube. Note 1: make videos. Note 2: repeat step 1. That's all I needed. That was the message I received.
Pretty much.
It was perfect.
But I actually ended up meeting Terps. He was rather nice, rather friendlier than I initially would think.
Fraz spammed him with business cards.
Yeah, maybe that. Anyone wondering, I did use Eurogamer as a kind of sense of building some business connections for Smash Gaming. I have so many business cards. I gave out so many business cards, and the channel hit 17k while we were gone. Why?
No one knows.
Also, anyone wondering, though, make sure you're checking out Charlotte Shuffle, because he will be down below. He is in this video. He's everywhere on the channel usually, and his channel is fantastic.
I don't know if I agree with that, but whatever.
But yeah, we'll move on. We actually, pretty much our first port of call on Thursday we kind of paid attention to was meeting David Clark from KISS.
Yes, we did.
Anyone wondering, I've done quite a few games from KISS. I usually refer to it as KISS Limited because it's LTD, but it stands for Keeping It Simple. Keeping it simply simple.
Yes.
There's quite a few games. They do a lot of random stuff as well. They're kind of like Tiny Build. They pick up sort of random games, but they also have bigger games. A lot of them are actually coming out in early access. It was brilliant to meet Dave himself because he was really friendly, and it was nice to put a sort of face to the name because I usually communicate with him in emails. Dan got chatting away to him as well, and he was telling us about Kiss, and it's just, I always think of these people, like, until you actually meet them, I'm just like, oh, they're going to be very stern and really suits, and just like, meh, we only do this and do this with your stern hand and everything. But it was really friendly. We sat down in the press area, had a nice wee long chat, and it was fun and friendly, and it was nice to get to know him a bit.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I have a business card now, which I should probably use at some point, but yes, it was very good.
Yeah, I mean, towards that, before that, really, we ended up in the Resd area. Like we said, we did spend a lot of time in the Resd area. It was easier to just get on games, because a lot of people don't know the games, I suppose. So they're there to see what's new and everything, what's kind of coming out, because it is an indie game area. Because a lot of the bigger games, like in the 18+ area, we will get to the Homefront and everything later on, but the Resd area, there will be snapshots, hopefully come up okay, maybe, on the screen for you guys in the background. It's just kind of like, and I'll put something at the bottom to kind of say what the game was. We've got a lot of business cards that way, talked to a lot of developers. First protocol, because my channel is, I dragged Sherlock and my fiance away to TerraTech stall. Met JB Finch there, the community manager there. There's a secret thing I'll tell you in the next TerraTech video.
If you can tell them. You need to get the all clear.
Yeah. There's some things we were told, and we'll wait and see. But it was nice to be there, and Sherlock managed to play TerraTech for the first time.
Badly.
Yeah, he's got a lot to learn. The solar panel goes on the ground.
Why I want it on me? Solar panels go on vehicles nowadays. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, it was nice to actually sort of meet face to face with some of the TerraTech guys and just see. Although I just wanted to nick the banner.
Should have asked for it.
Can I have the TerraTech banner? I mean, it was very, very fun. We went around quite a few games. I'm just trying to go through some of the pictures and stuff to try and remind myself. We played Sub-Level 0.
Yeah, we did.
Which was, how would you say it was like almost.
Sub-Level 0 was a first-person, I'd say first-person maintenance vent exploration game. In the basically you're in a wee little floaty ship that can do a bunch of stuff and has guns on it, and you're going through what seems to be air vents.
Wasn't it?
It was freaking awesome, actually. It was very much. It had that 0G space feel in that no direction was really up or down. It was all over the place, which is very, very cool. But it looked really pretty. It was really nice. Some of the effects were quite good. The only issue I had with it is I didn't get long enough to play it.
Yeah, you could have sit long enough, you know.
Yeah, people were queuing, and I didn't want to get in the way.
Yeah, that was one thing. If you go to Eurogamer and you want to play games, you're probably going to have someone peering over your shoulder.
Or you'll be waiting for ages.
Yeah.
Unless you did what I did for The Division and sprinted there.
Yeah, basically, you will be waiting. Or you'll sit one and then you'll have about 10 people going, ooh, what's going on? Ooh, what's this?
But that's the advantage of the Resd area compared to the AAAs, is that the Resd area is a lot, you can jump in and jump out as and whenever, unless you're us at Verminside. But it was a much better experience compared to the AAAs, for me at least. Anyway, I don't know if you'd agree with that or not.
Yeah, I just enjoyed it, and obviously it found that the big AAA sales. I'm guessing they were developers because they knew the game came in and out. But for instance, when you played Total War, they were very, very welcoming. And Get Creative Assembly's huge studio because they're doing Total War Warhammer, Halo Wars 2, possibly an Alien Isolation 2, because there have been rumors going around, but I don't think
they're doing loads of stuff.
They're a huge studio now, and we didn't manage to actually get an interview with them before, but they actually said, "Oh, if you come back later on," but we just were busy. There was so much to do. I still feel like we didn't manage to get it all done quite yet, but we kind of started sitting in one area, just kind of focusing. But we played so many games.
All the games. All the red stuff, anyway.
Another game that Sherlock really liked. I find the dubstep has to be just right for me. It was Arrow.
But with 2 E's.
Yes. Should hopefully have a snapshot of that. We'll soon find out. If I don't, I'll find like a logo of the game in some sense, just so you guys can see what it is and maybe just have a wee look at it. And Aero, it was. How would you even explain that? Because I didn't really get to. This was the developer that didn't. It was just like, who are you?
I would describe Aero as. How would I best describe Aero? I would describe Aero as a kind of on the rails rhythm shootery kind of thing with much dubstep. There were many wubs. The principle essentially was that you fly through this very on the rails, very linear. You fly forwards, and it's kind of like a runner almost. And there was also music to it, and that you could actually increase the wubs by following the neon blue lines, while simultaneously being shot at or chased by enemies that you had to move around with, and obviously fight. Now, if I'm right, the left stick was physical movement for the craft, so moving up and down and around this cylindrical area, and then the right stick was you aiming.
Yep. But
you weren't permanently aiming, you had to physically move it yourself, and once you got that, you had to fire buttons, and it was just really cool. I liked the aesthetic, it was very pretty, it was very colourful, very nice. I quite like the music, because I quite like my electro stuff anyway. But no, it was very, very good. And all I'd say about that is, I think the only problem I would have with it is that you couldn't sit down and play it for ages. You do it for like 10 minutes, half hour, whatever it is, if you want, enjoy the music. But other than that, it was really, really good fun. I really liked it.
Yeah, like, because I did initially sit down and play it first, and it was like, okay, and you won't be hearing anything outside your headphones, because some stuff is put up loud, particularly because the area is very, very loud. You could probably tell our voices are kind of gubbed.
Yeah.
It's not like you're like shouting per se, but your voice is raised while you're a Eurogamer, and you're talking to a lot of people. Well, I did a lot of talking.
I did a little bit of talking, mainly saying that I was security, but that's a story for later on.
Yeah. How about we get a little funny story? Because there is quite a few actually. But first up, I'll let Charlotte tell you about how he's apparently security.
So while Fraz was speaking, one of the developers, I can't remember which game it was. One of the other guys came and was like, "Oh, so hi, yeah, not too bad. Yeah, I'm just with this guy here. I'm just hanging about a little bit." So, oh, okay then. And he obviously looked at Fraz, looked at Emma. And kind of seen, those two obviously together because they're fiancés and the other. And he looked at me and goes, "So what do you do?" Now, I was trying to not say anything about the YouTube side of thing because in my mind I haven't done anything good enough, and I'm still trying to work on getting it back up to speed. I said, "I'm security," and it was like, "Oh, okay." Like, yeah, I run security. Now, the only reason I could get away with that is that I'm 6'4". I'm quite tall, and most people there were not quite tall, apart from this unbelievably tall chap that was like 7 foot something. But and that's not the Chaos Marine. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm security." He's like, "Oh, okay." And then there's minced off somewhere else.
Yeah, I think you told me this at lunch, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Wait, what?" I literally turned around. It's like, "You're meant to be trying to sell your chat," and he's like, "No, I'm security.
I'm security now."
Okay. And I couldn't stop laughing. It was brilliant. But yeah, there was a few funny things, especially cosplay related. You probably didn't meet them, but when you went off to the press area to have a little relaxing time yesterday, and I was going around taking some videos and stuff, I walked into Predator. And it was an extremely well done Predator. I'll probably maybe put the snapshot up here, maybe, if I remember during editing. But basically it was an extremely well done Predator, a male and female Predator, and I was like, "Please don't kill me," and I was like, "We'll kill you if you want." And they held their blades to my throat, and I was like, you just see me in the picture just like other than that, we had a Chaos Marine, which was stupidly
enormous,
and he was walking around with Batman's head
on a chain.
And we got a picture with that. That was probably one of the few things that were taller than Dan.
Yeah, not many things are.
He's tall himself.
Yeah, you're a midget. It's fine. You are.
So yeah, there was a lot of cosplay stuff. There was a lot of cosplay focus. There was like on the cosplay stage they had like training, like workshops and stuff going on, and there was a lot of events, a lot of tournaments sort of taking place. There was a Dota 2. I probably have to say this, and please forgive me anyone who's Dota 2 fans and everything, but there seems to be this massive vibe around Dota 2, and then it was just really tiny at Eurogamer. Like they had this part, and it was like, you know, the people sitting down watching it, and it was actually, you know, commentators. But I think there was maybe about 10 stations or something doing it, and that was it. What had a huge area from what I saw, but I think it was actual 6 games. It's just every time we came around, it was always on. It was Hearthstone and the Virgin Media Hexaphone or something. That had this huge. I think that was probably the biggest height-wise for anything. And then they had sort of stationed out about, and they had the big like stairs going up to all these multiple stations and everything. I was just like, okay. Every time we came around, it was Hearthstone, but it looked like there was Hearthstone and Smite. Not sure about others.
There was a bunch of stuff there.
But back to the games wise, well, that technically nice games. We did try out Total War. It was basically.
Yes,
I think that was maybe our first game, really. Like first bigger.
It was one of the bigger games. Yeah, it was one of the bigger ones we did. That was the first we did.
Which was fairly easy to get on the first day anyway, because I guess like school and jobs and whatnot.
Yeah, Thursday was definitely the quietest day of the 3 days.
I attempted it on easy because it was easy and hard. There was no normal.
Yeah, it was just easy or hard.
So I was like, right, I'll try easy and see what do. You know, you get 2 races fighting each other. There was a giant spider. There was also
which was terrifying. Which was also in the wall. There's a picture of that as well.
There was but the spider just comes at your troops and just pure flings them away. You're like, yep. First, we didn't get really an interview with them, and I did interview some people, but this year, because it was my first year as well, I didn't really have the hardware for it.
Maybe
and
next
I apologize. I mean, we did get some discussion with some devs and everything, so it'll be nice to just put that across to you guys. But basically, Total War is looking good.
It is.
I think they said it was March or something?
They didn't actually give us a time, but they said it should be sometime around March. February, March, yeah, is what they said.
And it seems to be that it's going to be, well, it's looking fairly far along just now.
It looks quite polished.
The animation quality is brilliant, the textures are brilliant, it's a Total War game. We had one of the developers talking away to us for a good wee bit, and because I won my game, I got my wee card, and I got a t-shirt. Where it actually is. Probably I think it's in the suitcase still. And you got a code for Napoleon.
Yeah, I want a code for Napoleon. I have so many freaking stuff here. Leaflets and business cards and things. When did I get this? Loads of stuff, anyway.
Yeah, Dan sat down. He played and lost.
I did it on hard.
Yes.
Because I thought, well, how hard can it be? Turns out very.
Yeah, there was that, and we didn't try Total War Arena.
No, we didn't.
But we also saw that Syndicate had his own freaking bus.
As you do.
Because he seemed to be sort of sponsored by Razer and everything. Yogscast didn't seem to be doing anything apart from they had their merch thing there. They did some talks as well. Then we had a very, very interesting area that I really liked, was the replay area.
It was very cool. They had a bunch of stuff there.
They had every known console to man. Some that I never knew even existed. You had like the ones that would play through cassettes.
Very cool.
Before that, there was a Nintendo 60. There was quite a few Nintendo 64. PlayStation 1, 2, even the 20th anniversary area of PlayStation had all the consoles there as well. But the replay area had Nintendo 64, SNES, everything. It was so cool to actually see that little area. Back to the rest area though. What other games did we play, sir? I
have a small list here. Apart from Aero, we had Bushido Black and White. Excellent, by the way. Had great fun with that.
Anybody wondering what that is you basically your samurais or those type of warriors?
It's essentially a 2D fighting game based entirely around stealth, surprise, and kind of twitch skill. And the gimmick, or theme rather, is that everything is neither black or white, and you are playing as a black or white character, like all white or all black. And if you're a black character, so you are on the shadow team, and you're standing in a shaded area, you become completely invisible and are completely against the background. You are indistinguishable if you're standing still. Same again in the light and the white areas, and it's great fun. We had far too much fun with that and went back on like all 3 days, I think.
Yep.
And we just played it. It was fantastic fun. It was up to 4-player local co-op. I'm hoping they add online multiplayer. They didn't say they were going to, but they didn't say they weren't going to either.
Yes.
But that was really, really good fun. I very much enjoyed that one.
Some games we did in passing speak to developers and we like the look of. I believe there's one, was it Fear the Awakening, turn-based strategy survival game inspired by Slavic myth. We didn't get a chance to play it, but I spoke away to the developer for a good 10 minutes. I believe it was Mila I spoke to, which was writer-designer.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'll be able to get a hold of it. A lot of these games, the developers are going to be sending us across demos or stuff like that, so we'll be able to show you some proper footage.
Yes.
Anything that's 2-player, anything like Bushido, Black and White, I will be playing against Sherlock.
And losing.
No. So a lot of that's we've already got, I've already received some keys and stuff, but I have, anybody wondering about Smashflix list, there's about 15 games sitting on my computer right now I've got to cover. It's insane. But then again, you guys have managed to raise it to that level. We're going to raise Sherlock as well.
Slowly.
So another game though we didn't actually get to play, but we've played the previous game, was Guns of Icarus Alliance. Now me and Sherlock were extremely confused. We were just like, right, what's different about this? We were standing there for a good 5-10 minutes going, what the hell is different? I still don't see what's different. Excuse me, what's different? Yeah, we were being sort of the developers get, a lot of the Res developers, I say that as they're developing for Res. The indie developers were really, really friendly, like I've mentioned before, and really energetic, and I loved that. Even on the Saturday, when they're probably worn down and tired, their voices are gone, they're still getting in there. But Guns of Icarus Alliance is a PvE, was it?
Yeah, it is a PvE version of Guns of Icarus. Which was obviously that massive multiplayer one, which was obviously really good fun and stuff like that. I did ask that, okay, well, if it's PvE, does that mean it's single player? Can you team up? Can you have multiple ships doing the same objectives and other? And the general gist of it was that it's Guns of Icarus but PvE. So there's a slightly more prominent story mode. It's actually, I think this said it's based before Guns of Icarus. But there's a bunch of factions, there's a bunch of shenanigans, and you can play with obviously just yourself and have some bots or some friends of some bots and stuff like that. It looks really cool. I'm hoping that we get to play that.
Yeah, and you anyone who's quickly wondering what Guns of Icarus is, you have big airships you fight with, and then the other one, it was basically you had, was it teams 4 or 5 if I meant right?
Yes, I think it's 4.
And you'd have the driver, the gunners, the fixers, or everybody becomes a fixer eventually.
Yeah.
And it was always 4v4, but you would have to kind of get 8 people almost to play it, but you could play online. Whereas Guns of Icarus almost brings that down to the point you only need 4 people. There is bots and stuff, but obviously it's always better to have a person playing. But Guns of Icarus, you'll have objectives like defending stuff, chasing convoys, defending your base and everything, which I think is a great addition to the already established franchise now. And hopefully we'll manage to get a hold of it and have a bit of fun.
Yes.
There is so much stuff that we actually got to play, and I've got so many cards that I can't even remember half of them.
There was a bunch of stuff.
Another little game actually was Mushroom 11, which...
I was going to say, I struggled. I sucked at that game.
I saw you just falling into Pit of Fire.
Yeah.
It seemed to be, because I didn't really get any sort of chatting and that, but Mushroom 11 seems to be, in a sense, it's a timed game, almost. Because it was running sort of a competition, it seemed to be as well. You're getting this sort of goo, green goo across, and you use a little razor to get away, but you're absorbing creatures and plants as you go along, also avoiding fire.
But for every bit that you erase, it will randomly grow out of a different part of this sort of green mass thing. So that's how you have to basically erase the back part of you to then grow the front part to then move forward, and it's really weird. It
was so much going on, though. It was just okay, and I was like, Charlotte, do you want to take over?
Okay. I sucked instantly.
Aww. Another game though that I actually really liked, that was actually right next to TerraTech stall, was Bootleg Turbo Drive. I really, really liked the art style.
I didn't get on with it quite so much, I don't think. Like because I was listening to one of the chaps that was on just before us, and he said the main problem he had with the game was that it was too easy. And it was like, yeah, I can see how that's a problem. But it did look quite good. It's very much up your alley, I think. The only problem I have with it is I didn't really like the control system, and I found it to be too easy.
Yeah.
But
I do agree with the easiness. I'm wondering if that does ramp up, because obviously you don't get much time to really delve into games here. So obviously it's almost like, you know, first impressions, initial impressions going on and everything. There was the Indie Mega booth, which I liked but didn't like. I mean, as in its presentation, right? It's like, I'll put up a picture just in the background. One of the games we did play, Star Command Galaxies, which I really like because it's like almost FTL coupled with sort of base management in a way, because you're like repairing your ship and adding things to it and everything. But it's like Indie Mega booth, big green banner around all the air. Okay. Everything had a different sort of colour, like Star Command Galaxies, but it's always like red, blue, yellow, something another, together, purplish. Like it would have 4 stations each thing. And then the thing is, you'd Star Command Galaxies by War Balloon. So you have 2 stations, and just say Star Command Galaxies out of Speech Bubble, War Balloon. There was no logos.
Yeah, it was
no
really
logos.
annoying.
There was nothing that goes, this is this company. It was just text, which I found was almost a bad idea for something like EGX. You walk past and all you do is read text. You're like, wait, what is it? I believe a picture speaks more than some words.
Yes.
Especially at an event like this. Like some of the pictures you've seen in the background, you know, with Aero and Mushroom Rhythm and all that, there's a big banner and you go, okay, even in the left field collection, which we'll get to shortly, which was odd, people had drawn on their logos or your pictures or anything that would attract people's eyes to the game. Whereas this, it was like, here's blue, here's some text, and work it out.
Pretty much.
Obviously, you see people playing the game in the way past. That's one thing that would help, but it was just like a lot of that indie booth area got quite busy. So if you're walking past, you'd never know what was really going on. I just found that could be slightly altered, maybe.
It could be, but hey, you live and learn, didn't you? So.
Yeah. What did you think of indie booth? Indie Mega booth?
Too many people. Don't like people. But I thought it was okay. I mean, yeah, some of the games are pretty cool, but I agree. It was a little bit too chaotic and not enough general knowing what the hell was going on. But yeah, that's by the by.
Yeah. Another game we actually managed to get to play. There's actually quite a few games we actually got to play. Some of them we did, obviously, like I said, talk about. Was Skyscrapers that my fiance beat us at.
Yep. Because she's douchebag.
Yeah, Skyscrapers. Basically, it's like it can be up to 4 players, beating each other up. You all have health bars, and you're running up a skyscraper while it's falling apart.
And fighting each other, and all that other good stuff.
Yeah, it was actually very, very... I really enjoyed it. Like, I really, really enjoyed it. It's like,
it was quite good fun.
Yeah, it's a good thing, like, if you sit down. Although it kind of reminds me of things like if someone has played Super Smash Bros. And didn't want to be friends with anyone anymore. We had that, and we also, I think it was Iron Fish.
Iron Fish was kind of cool, also slightly terrifying.
Yeah, Iron Fish is where you're in a sort of mini sub-like thing, and it's based slightly in the future. This is some of the things I got from the actual developers and stuff. It's based slightly in the future, so you have like really high-tech gear on and everything, but you have to explore the deep sea, and there can be anything like sharks hitting your glass on your thing and trying to get to you and then eating you. But you have to explore, and it seems to be like weekly or something. They'll have like special objectives that you'll have to do, but there's also objectives of the game. You know, they'll leak out the story in a way. It's a nice way of doing it. I'm wondering how it will actually fare. But you have to explore the deep sea, collect treasure, do certain objectives, not get killed. There's no weaponry. You'll have things that can deter the sharks, and also things that can actually make the sharks fight each other. Like if you end up making one bleed in one way, the other sharks will attack it. There's also a squid. We didn't see the squid. Evil.
Nope.
We didn't see the squid, but it's like, oh, watch your trailer, there's a squid in it. I was like, maybe not. There's a giant whale, which I saw a couple of people just chasing, and it doesn't go anywhere. She told me this. It's like people just get interested in a whale, but it doesn't go anywhere. It's kind of music. The worlds are huge, but there is a sort of cut-off point. I did wonder that because it's a deep sea world basically. But there was a sort of a wall eventually. But the worlds are very sort of meticulously put together and everything. I mean, from that, I'm trying to look at some of my pictures. I probably forgot anything. Anything you played, sir, that's kind of stood out to you? Apart, we'll still get to Vermintide. Okay,
apart from Vermintide. Let's see, it was Aero, which I really liked. Bushido was really good fun. Terratech, no, I don't like that. Kidding, it was okay, I just don't get it.
I really wish we got a bit of time Masquerade.
Yeah, and there's actually a couple other things that I thought looked at, oh, this is quite cool, but they were always just rammed with people, so we couldn't really get to. But I mean, a lot of it was, anything I played I enjoyed. I just can't remember what they were because I have a really bad memory because I'm getting old and going senile.
Yeah, I'll put a picture up in the background for anyone who's wondering. Masquerade. Developers really excited to talk about it, which I really like. Just you get that sort of enthusiasm across. And he said it was like, well, from what I gathered, it was like Diablo crossed with a Disney like art style. And from seeing some people playing it from behind them, it's like it looks really cool. And he said, it has that look of like a timeless thing, where if you go to play it in 10 years' time, it's still going to look good. Which, if done right, a cartoon style can stand the test of time brilliantly. Yes. Some games, I'm going to mention one that probably people hate me for. Final Fantasy VII did not age well. You tried to play that in the PC version. It is horrible. It looks horrible. It did not age well at all. Whereas a game like this is going to age very, very nicely. Hopefully we'll hear from the developer about that one and give you some of that.
The immediate comparison, when I first looked at it, I thought, oh, this kind of reminds me of Bastion or Transistor or something like that. That Supergiant game stuff, that's the art style it reminds me of. Bastion was released back in like 2012. I mean, yeah, okay, it's only 3 years ago now, but in 10 years' time, Bastion is going to look gorgeous still.
I played a few other random games like Dino Roar, which was developers were like, oh, it's just a wee casual game, and you pretty much play a dinosaur, and you have a little wooden sword, and you kill some enemies, and you can put on a Viking hat, and some top hats, and some sunglasses, and to be honest, I loved its little quirkiness. Like, it was like...
It was very cutesy, though.
It had some very sort of serious games and all that, and then you just had this quirky, like, dinosaur killing game. So I was like, okay. Spoke a little bit about RPG Tycoon. Hopefully get to dive into that a bit more. But the bigger title we done, and we had a proper sort of good interview with the developer over it and talked a bit more of them. Maybe used our press pass. I still don't know how we were meant to use our press pass apart from the press area efficiently, but we walked up and we're like, look, we have an interview. We've played the game a bit at the Corsair section. I mean, there were some computer manufacturers, like Scan was there, and what was the other one? Asus. Were there, and they had areas with stuff and stuff we wanted. Even my fiance wanted one of the PCs because they're all in purple. But Warhammer Vermintide was awesome.
It was good. I liked it.
Anybody wondering, it is based, in the Warhammer universe, and you're into Skavens and everything. Each character has a sort of melee and a sort of long-ranged weapon in a way, and they're sort of different. You're able to kind of customize them to a certain extent. I mean, I did put the question to them. It's like, because the character I was using, I allowed you to you'd swing with your hammer, but it's more like a sort of swing right, left, swing right. I mean, there's not much else you could do, but then they told me that you could hold in the mouse button, you could swing round like an area effect sort of thing. But I mean, the animation quality was brilliant. I mean, if you hit something, limbs fly off.
I took off many heads.
Was it me that had a crossbow?
Yes. No, you had a shotgun-y kind of thing. I had multiple pistols.
Each character kind of has a different way in that sense. You could just destroy some things, and then you had some creatures that would just pin down one of your allies, and you'd have to rescue them. And the actual overall aesthetic looked really nice. It ran very nice, because they do plan to release it next month. Yeah, but we'll hopefully have some close beta footage very, very shortly.
We did get confirmation that we can in fact do that, so we're both downloading and installing it now.
Yeah, we did actually ask someone, it's like, you know, was there any restriction? I'm like, no, go away.
No, go. Sweet.
Some of the other developers I did ask, you know, if it came to it, like, because Smash Look has been considered like, if there's early access title, I'll do it. And then if the developer wishes me to do a sort of launch edition of it, like I've done it for a few titles in the past, I'll do it. Like, you know, I'll just like, this has changed or this has improved, like the frame rate's improved, the actual optimization's improved, and take it from there. But Vermintide I did really enjoy. I don't think we did much else after that, if I remember right.
No, we didn't.
We were pretty knackered. We still would have wanted an extra day there, but money can be an issue.
I wanted my 12 hours sleep and it was good.
Well, I woke up at 12 and then I fell back asleep and woke up at 3.
Yeah, I woke up at 7 and then I woke up at 10. I was cozy.
Yeah, it was our first Eurogamer experience. It was brilliant. It was big, loud. Press area was nice and quiet. We did manage to check out a presentation by Deus Ex.
Yes, indeed.
Which, that game looks so good. They did say it was pre-alpha, and I was like, is it pre-alpha?
Yeah, the only problem I have with the Deus Ex stuff is kind of a Squeenix thing, I think, in that it was a presentation. You couldn't play the game. Yeah. You could only watch someone else play the game.
Just Cause was the only one you could play of Square. But they had one thing I would give them for Just Cause is they had some amount of stations.
They had loads.
And then they were doing it in a sort of flowing way. It's like they would have someone giving a presentation about the game and talking about the game a bit while you were waiting to get into the stations, and then there'd be an initial queue. So you had to have the queue, presentation, game. And it was just a nice way to keep it flowing, I thought, rather than just waiting forever in a day. Other games we did get to before we kind of round this off as the bigger titles. We got to Homefront.
Yes, we did.
I liked it, but it needs improvements.
I did not like it.
So what we'll do is I'll give my points and then I'll get Sherlock to give his points. Right. What I liked was the crafting system really good. You can customize weapons really well, really fast as well. The only thing I didn't like was using a controller because FPS. I felt like even when I played Halo 5, it's very, very sluggish, I find. Controllers, you're swinging it around, it's like you almost have a lead attached to your gun, just like, look. I like the freedom. We did, obviously, I think we got like, what, 15 minutes? 10, 15 minutes? Yeah. You get a lot of freedom, there's a lot of firefights going on across the city and everything. I got lost quite a bit. I mean, I don't know if it was a game because obviously things are still getting built for it. One of the objectives was like, right, you need to turn this on, but then you need to go find a generator. Instead, the generator someone else. I spent about 5 minutes looking around this building and there was no freaking generator. And then it was a slight bug at the end where the soldier spinning around a tank and then the game ended. But I mean, please bear in mind these games are in production, so these things will be looked at. I did note that down. You know, what did you not like? Guy spinning around tank. It was amusing, but slightly off-putting. You know.
Yeah.
What I'll do is I'll pass it to Sherlock. I mean, I did enjoy it. Does need improvements, but it's not due out for, I think it's like a year.
Yeah, something like that.
6 months, so a lot can change, especially in a AAA development type sense. What did you not like?
The main thing I didn't like is that it was so unbelievably sluggish and so slow. As far as trying to move, like just trying to, you know, look from left to right, took ages to do. And it was just really slow, and you think, oh, this is going to be, it's going to be nice and quick, because in front you're running around, you're jumping over stuff, you're using a motorbike. It was just so unbelievably slow. And one of the big problems I had with it is that when I was trying to ride the motorbike, I had such horrendous frame rate problems. Yes, I know it's obviously, it's a presentation, it's not the full game, but it was running at such a bad frame rate that I couldn't steer. It was, okay, turn left. And now in a wall, because there were not enough frames for me to actually see it, which is a problem. Another thing I didn't really like is the guns felt a little bit meh. They didn't really have any recoil. They sounded okay, but they had no recoil, no punch to them. But I think hopefully most of the things will be fixed, and the sluggishness will be fixed when it comes to PC. But aside from that, I think it could be good. They need to do a lot of work on it. That's all I have to say about it.
Thankfully, it's not out yet.
Yeah, it is.
Obviously, probably one of the biggest titles we tried at EGX was Halo 5. We tried that on the first day. We waited about an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was good. Like, it looked good.
Good. It was quite pretty.
played okay. Once you got into firefights, it was pretty sort of fast-paced. You know, you could dash about and all that. The problem I had was the point of getting to said firefight.
Yeah, it took a while.
It was 12v12, and I get that kind of works, right? Okay, 12v12, but the map was that big. At times, you were just like, wait, where is everyone? That was my sort of biggest bugbear with the title. It was like, where is everyone that I can then kill? I did like it. I'm not going to say I didn't like it. I did like it. I just feel it could benefit from PC.
Yeah.
But it was good. I don't know. Something didn't quite like it. I always feel like I will explain a game like it has this certain type of hook, and I just feel it didn't have something that would make me want to go back and play more at this time. Like, I'm not saying it couldn't like happen. Played a bit more and sat down for a good hour and played it. But like as for the multiplayer battles, I don't know if there's any bigger. I haven't really looked into Halo because it is on Xbox One. I don't have an Xbox One. I don't know if it's gonna like if there's bigger battles or that, or they kept it to that for a LAN type experience because of like everything going on at EGX with the whole electronics and everything. There's so many. I wonder how much their power bill is.
A lot.
But I mean, I did enjoy it. Me and Charlotte worked together quite a bit because we completely own people at FPS.
Yep. I mean, I played a lot of Halo 3 was the last one I really played, but I said to Faraz, right, let's just get in a Warthog, drive around and just gun people down, which we did, and it was great, and it worked really well.
It worked really, really well. I mean, the only other thing, I know it's not a AAA title, is we played Deckbound.
Yes.
Which is based for a browser, from what I believe.
It's a web-based card game, and the general idea is to get your opponent's health to 0. Start with 15 health, and you have set abilities, and there's a bunch of outposts, and you can destroy the outposts, and then unlock the dragon inside it, and basically do damage to your opponent. I won, needless to say, because I'm quite good at card games.
There was a lot there. I enjoyed it. I got beat. Well, we bought a lot of random stuff. We got some stuff from developers, like some stuff that was like proof of concept. Dead of Day, I liked the point. It was like a survival management system. Like you could manage survivors, build up stuff, build up bases, and you know, if you go away, and it's also got a dungeon crawler thing. I didn't get to chance to play it because it's kind of still, it's in an early development. It doesn't have the dungeon crawler bit in. I like that. And some other games, obviously, I played throughout the show. Just jumped on and played a little bit, talked a little bit to them, put some cards around. But really, our first experience at Eurogamer Expo, I really, really enjoyed it. I can't wait to go back next year. It was great to be there with one of my best friends, Charlotte Shuffle. I've met twice.
Yeah.
He puts up with some amount of moaning.
I don't know how, but I do.
It was an amazing time. I've got lack of voice. Almost. I mean, one thing I'd probably do maybe next year is try and get into some of the bigger titles. This is in the Ubisoft area. I wasn't interested in Assassin's Creed. There was Rainbow Six Siege, but the thing is, we both had beta access to it now.
It was
so like,
hey, someone said to me, hey, play Rainbow Six. I was like, why? He's like, but it's Rainbow Six. I went, yeah, no. I can go home. I can, 1, play it on PC rather than Xbox. 2, play it in the comfort of my own home with a cup of tea next to me and some good headphones. And 3, not on Xbox.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like some of the stuff, we were basically aiming, like that's why I probably spent a lot of time in the Res area, because some of these games are proof of concept. Some of these games, you know, are out or in early access or whatever, and we can get a general idea. We unfortunately didn't get on any VR experience.
Yeah, no VR.
I have to admit, it was done really terribly.
Yes.
Particularly, I was kind of annoyed with PlayStation. Apparently, appointments were to be made prior to the actual event. There was nothing I saw about this. There was nothing posted about this. Probably somewhere, but it was like, it's not really fair for the general public that pop up in the day and want to try it out, because you're kind of like, that's generally the area you would want to sell it to, the mass market. Vive were a bit more forthcoming. They were a bit more friendly, a bit more accepting. We unfortunately didn't get in there. There was some places like Crystal Rift we unfortunately didn't get to. They were using Oculus Rifts. There was Elite Dangerous as well, was using Was it Oculus Rift or Vive?
A couple of Oculus Rifts, I think.
So there was other games that were using like these types of kits. They got so swarmed, there was just no point, and I just felt there was no point in standing around when we could go off and try 5 games in the meantime.
Yeah.
Some people might say, oh, quality over quantity, but it's more like you're not going to see the quality unless you try the quantity at this type of event. But that'd be one thing. We might even get a hold of VR kits eventually. I mean, they are about to come out. Like, you've got the Vive that's looming, PlayStation VR is looming. We don't know the prices of either one of them.
Although Oculus has apparently touted for being close to $300, apparently.
Oculus' development kit is about £250, £300.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Like, I've seen a few in EGX, and they have been about £240 or something to buy, so it's round about that mark. Whether or not I believe it's the next future thing, I need to actually try. A lot of people say it's something you need to try. It's something you cannot put across in a video. It's something you cannot put across in words. You have to just try it. That's what I believe that I would have liked to have done, but we unfortunately didn't get there. Probably like to try some bigger titles though in next year, if I felt up to like waiting queues. Like I said, like Rainbow Six, we could come home and play it.
Yep.
Assassin's Creed is out next month, I think.
Something like that.
I'm
I don't
like
even know.
2 Assassin's Creed games behind or something. I would have liked to try Just Cause, but I just think we just never really got the time.
Huge queue. It's massive.
And that's out December, I believe. What we'll do is we'll finish up with, I'm going to pass it to Sherlock, because I never got a chance, because I was away trying to get a Vive appointment, but also on Saturday when we were trying to get to the event, we spent about 50 minutes in a taxi or something, because the queue was massive. There's other events on at the NEC, like anyone who doesn't know Birmingham NEC, it's huge, like where we were was huge, but this thing goes on for miles. There were so many halls and parts to it, it's enormous. Like the biggest sort of entertainment area, I suppose. So we spent about 50 minutes. This was going around the other way that had less traffic. Although the taxi driver was really nice, he actually dropped us off where the first one dropped us off. The second one dropped us off at the beginning, and we had to all walk
the
all the
other
way.
side.
I was like, really? You see, if you went right and dropped us right there, we'd saved like 20 minutes. But what I'll do is I'll pass it across to Sherlock. He's going to discuss a little bit about the Division. I didn't get a chance to play it, so I'm looking forward to hearing his words on the game, and we'll end it after that.
Okay, well, the Division had enormous queues on Thursday, Friday, and as I mentioned before, on Saturday I arrived in Birmingham at about 10:15. I ran over to the entrance, which was thankfully right next to the Ubisoft booth, obviously where you can find the Division, and I sprinted from the door to the Division, jumped over the railing and everything, got some dodgy looks, and I got moaned at it, but whatever. Finally got in to play the Division. It was hosted on Xbox One, which was annoying, and you could really tell it was on Xbox One. There was a lot of artifacting on screens for that. It wasn't obviously running particularly well, but it was okay. Customization, didn't get to play as much as I thought I would do. You couldn't, it was just, hey, you're playing as this guy. You have an LMG and a shotgun. Deal with it. Okay. And annoyingly, the demo was like 10 minutes. I didn't get very long to play it, sadly. But what I will say is that I think when Fraz and I get our hands on it, when we get a team together, we are going to have some really good fun with it. It's going to be really, really good. The only downside is getting people together, and also if it launches in a decent state. I mean, Ubisoft didn't have a particularly good time last year, and it was due to come out last year as well, so hopefully it doesn't suck. I'm not cancelling my pre-order, which is the only game I have pre-ordered recently. Don't pre-order video games, kids. But yeah, hopefully it doesn't suck. I'm looking forward to playing it, and I think when Fraz and I get together, we can. The averages will rule the dark zone. That's all I will say.
Yeah, unfortunately, I never got a chance with Division. The queue was like, I think it was Friday, 10:30 on Friday morning. There was already a 3.5 hour long queue.
Yep.
That's nuts. And of course, it's Division. I would perhaps consider the Division, because it has such an advanced engine in and what it's been promoted as. It's one of those, like, people want to be able to play this, like, now. When we kind of walked around at the end of Friday, just kind of checking it out, we saw, and it looked good. I remember you saying it looked good from a distance.
I think that was one of the problems as well, is that it was put on a quite, not a big, but it must have been at least a 30-inch TV. and the screen was just too big. But at a distance, it looked really pretty, looked really nice. The effects were good, the water effects were gorgeous. But when you actually were sitting at the monitor, there was a lot of artifacting around some of the corners. There was white lines. There was obviously meshes, that you could see into stuff like that, which will be fixed hopefully by launch. And in terms of raw gameplay, it was fine. But the only problem I had is I was on Xbox, and I hate using control of any kind of shooter. It's just the worst.
Yeah, like from a distance from what I saw, it looked really good. You had the developer that was kind of talking you through as a team. The actual snowdrop system, like even like the water effects are still looking really nice.
So pretty.
So I'm hoping by the time it makes its way to actual PC, I believe it's March. It's set for March.
It's March the 8th.
Because basically in February you have XCOM 2 followed up by Deus Ex followed up by Division, all 2 weeks apart from each other. It's like,
yay!
Wallet, come back please. No, bye. But yeah, guys, our first Eurogamer experience. This video's a lot longer than I thought it would be, but we have talked about a lot of things. If some of you were at the event, didn't know that either of us were. We were tweeting and posting and Instagramming quite a lot of pictures. Come say hi next year, because it would be nice to actually meet some people that are interested in us or just hanging out. That was something I will actually tip my hat to Syndicate. He had a meet and greet I heard on the Friday. He obviously, like him himself, but the like companies and everything have set schedules. He finished his meet and greet. He then went out and just started taking pictures with fans and signing stuff.
Yeah, he seemed like quite an OP dude.
I've never actually met Syndicate, but that was just really nice. Just fans of waiting. It's like, no bugger, I'll just go out. I will admit, even the Yogscast, I've seen some of their Twitters as well. They were posting, like, some people were like, I had to go home and everything. I was like, well, send us their address, we'll send you something over. That's quite nice of them. Like, really, really nice. It was something that was actually mentioned by a few developers as well. It's like you have a more YouTube presence at Eurogamer compared to other like cons. And I think that's because like gaming in general is going to grow from videos and streaming and stuff. More people can do it, but also it was something in terms of saying more people will be able to consume it. Like you've got more people that have products that can consume it, can watch it, can play it. Whether or not YouTube can be a sense of making people buy games remains to be seen. It's always a very, very 50-50 greyish area. But I believe that that's kind of where things are going. Like it's going to expand that way. It's going to have fun, and hopefully Smash Gaming and Charlotte Shuffle can be there at forefront in one day. Maybe one day. Anyway, guys, I would like to extend a massive thank you to you watching this video. I would like to extend a massive thank you for Charlotte Shuffle, and it was great to meet him again. And hopefully we'll do it again next year. Hopefully you can see all the links down below. His link will be down below. It will also be in the contributor thing because YouTube has that fancy wee thing there. Make sure you check out his channel because he is fairly fantastic. And we'll look forward to seeing you hopefully next year.
Yes, indeed.
See you next time.
Bye.